America, could you tell,
Yes.
in all of the 20 hours that your father was there, those soldiers who did the shooting never came out to even come near them or to try to, in one way or another, find out the results of what they'd done?
No. No.
No.
He asked them for help several times, but they didn't care.
Now, Amer, your father, your family, you are all well known there. You have a farm on the border. Did you know Israeli soldiers as you were growing up? Your farm right in the suburb of Khan Yunis.
Well, our farm is about 500 meters away from the borders. In several occasions when there are incursions, the troops would come by, like pass him, storm by him, and continue. They wouldn't come near him. They knew he has nothing to do with anything. He has no political or military affiliations. One time they detained Ibrahim for pointing a flashlight he was carrying at night. They came to the farm, they searched everything, and they kicked and destroyed around the house and the farm. They took my dad's cell phones, they shot the tires, took Ibrahim, questioned him, and informed him with so many details about our family, about our cell phone numbers, about our nicknames, about what we do. And they asked him several other questions, and then they let him go.
Now, were any of the soldiers who were there, did your dad know any of them? Did he see any of them? Where were they shooting from?
They were shooting from a house that was about 30 or 40 yards away from the car. He doesn't know any one of them in person, but the soldiers took a group of the residents and other citizens. They took them as hostages or human shields in that house. And some of these hostages actually understood Hebrew. They spoke and understood Hebrew, and they overheard the conversation between the soldiers. The soldiers told the officer when they saw the car that this car, they know the car and they know that the passengers are civilians, but the officer ordered them to shoot and shoot to kill. Later on, as part of this unit, there were 2 army medics, 2 army doctors who asked the officer for permission to go help the victims, to go help the injured, but the officer refused because he knew they were civilians and he didn't want to get exposed. He didn't want the story to get out because he thought he might get in trouble for that.
They actually heard him say that?
Yes.
People in the house who spoke Hebrew?
Yes.
And how do you know this?
Because one of the hostages is a man who works for my dad in the family, and the man who understood Hebrew told this worker about the conversation, and when the worker visited my dad in hospital, he informed him of this conversation.
So that would mean that if there is an investigation, of an impartial investigation of what happened, there were actually witnesses, civilian witnesses in the house to what these Israeli soldiers did.
Yes.
And your dad was able to contact his brother, and his brother tried to get an ambulance to them as they lay in the street and as he was in the car?
Yes. So around the attack happened about 1 o'clock, so around 2 o'clock after the Red Crescent said we can't send an ambulance without coordination with the army, my uncle, who was called by my dad, managed to get an ambulance and get it going there on his own responsibility. As they approached the area, they were stopped by a row of tanks, and the soldiers on the tanks informed them with loudspeakers. They told them, "You go back, you leave, or we will start firing at you." So they were left with no choice but to leave without reaching the victims.
Your brother Kassab was 28, Ibrahim was 18. Could you tell us a little bit about them? Were they working on the farm with your father, or what their aspirations were for the future?
Kassab was an architect. He graduated from the Islamic University and finally graduated in 2007. He had so much trouble in college because it was very hard to get to college because of the checkpoints and the troubles on the road. So he missed so many classes and lectures, and he had to extend his period of study. But he graduated from the Islamic University in 2007 with a bachelor as an architect. Ibrahim was a freshman in college in Al-Azhar University. He started studying commerce, and he was about to finish his first semester. They regularly go to the farm to help my father around with work, to just get some fresh air and to enjoy nature there.
And Amer, how did you end up coming to the United States and going to Middlebury College?
Well, in 2001, I joined a program called United World College. So I went to the United World College of the Adriatic in Italy. It's in a town called Duino in the province of Trieste. It's on the Adriatic Sea. So I studied there and I received my international baccalaureate program. And after that, I applied for some U.S. colleges, and I received a full scholarship from Middlebury College as a Davis United World College scholar in 2004.
And you graduated with an economics degree?
Yes.
And now you're in Washington. Have you spoken to your dad in the hospital, and how is he? How far is that hospital from where they lay in the road?
The hospital was about 1 kilometer away from where they were. So even if they were allowed to walk there, they probably would have made it.
And your father, how's he doing?
I was informed he was dispatched from hospital yesterday. His injury is not life-threatening, but the experience he has gone through is just horrific. I can't even begin to imagine how he feels. And I managed to have only one long conversation with him. And he's dying inside every minute of every day. And his only hope in life to see justice being served and to know that those who murdered his sons and who committed this atrocity will not get away with it.
And if you could express to the American people and to the incoming administration of Barack Obama what you would hope our country would do about this situation and the continued killing there?
I lived in this country for over 4 years now. I know the people in this country are peace-loving and good-natured. And I know they're not aware of these atrocities. I urge the people, I urge the President Obama, and I urge the Congress to look at the fact, to look at what is going, and to make sure it stops. Make sure no more innocent lives are being. No more innocents are being killed anymore. I urge them to stop this madness. They can be friends of Israel, but a good friend will tell their friends when they make a mistake. They will never give them a carte blanche to do whatever they want, because at the end of the day, what Israel is doing today is harming it more than anyone else.
Amer Shurrab, I want to thank you for joining us. It's very brave of you to